Lewis. Towers 50. Porto 48. 8:20 to go.
Williams calling the play.
Final of this Sainsbury's Classic basketball tournament for 1998. We've already seen.
Danny Lewis kicks it round to Ray Schultz. Williams along the baseline. Morton trying to get it. Henlon. Shot clock ticking down. They need a shot. Schultz for three won't go. Tipped in by Dwayne Morton. Good work by Dwayne Morton. And just before you say anything on that, Nick, we hear Malcolm Leake has something of a knock on his calf. They're not sure whether he'll come back. And Leake has 10 points in the ball game, second leading scorer for the Towers.
That could be a very big factor in this game. He's been doing things in and out.
Henlon really didn't like the look of that call. Here is Malcolm Leake. He looks okay right there. Maybe they've managed to sort that out. He might be back. But here's a man who is coming back, Gerard Miller, with still 7.5 to go. Remember, he is on 4 fouls. That was foul number 2 on Morton Henlon. He picked up his first one very early in the game. Hence why he never fouls out of the game if he can go sort of 20-25 minutes without committing a foul.
That's right. And as you mentioned, Jared Miller, on the other hand, has 4 and is in the game with 7:37 left. The Towers probably need to attack him, try and go inside and see if they can make him foul.
Give the ball to Henlon perhaps and let him go at Gerard Miller. The alley-oop for Henlon, he couldn't quite get it. Got it at the second attempt. Lewis fires up for 3, short. And the rebound, Paolo Pinto. You said Towers at the beginning. Nick, you still going with Towers?
Yeah, I think so. I think Porto's playing a little bit better right now, but I still like the home team in a close game. I think it'll go right down to the wire too, especially if that goes.
From way out for 3, but it won't go. And the putback though from Raul Santos cuts it back down to 1.
The zone has hurt London Towers from this standpoint. They've been giving up offensive rebounds. It's at least the second, if not third, offensive rebounding basket they've given up.
Danny Lewis to Junior Williams. Morton left open for a long 3. It won't go. And Gerard, no, sorry, my fault. It was Fernando Saul pulls down the rebound.
Less than 6.5 minutes to go.
Chance for Porto to take the lead. It's been a while.
Santos. He does like to shoot from distance. There's another one. And another one goes awry.
And here he goes.
Lewis. Oh, Lewis still keeps the control of it. Danny Lewis all the way finds Morton, and he gets hit for the foul.
By Raul Santos.
The foul is on Raul Santos, number 2. Take a look at this. Danny Lewis, all out of control, manages to get it to Dwayne Morton, and eventually Santos commits the foul. We got a 1-point lead in favor of the London Towers. Lino Fratton has scored a timeout. We're going to go down and have a listen.
Do you realize they were shooting from out here and getting the rebound every time? We play a zone offense because they don't have shooters, and they get the rebound 4 times in here. Now we're on back to man-to-man, strong, ready to change. Look at me if I call a zone or a man, okay? On offense, if they play again that zone, big man here, high-low, 2 guards and a corner. Pass, give and go, replace. Then pass, give and go, replace. Okay? 2 guards in a deep corner. Patience. Have them work. And then we can go.
Is that standard sort of coaches union there? He was listening to you and he caught the same thing you said right at the start of the timeout. Here's the long shots. We're letting them get the offensive rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that they were getting their desired result, which was perimeter shooting. Porto struggled from the perimeter, but they were giving up second shots in close to the basket. So he's gone back to man-to-man, which is probably a good move, but they're still going to need to be active on the boards.
We'll also try and see if we can get those little hand signals that'll tell us when he's going to change from man-to-man to zone.
And Malcolm Leake's trying to check back into the game here.
Obviously that calf problem, not too much of a problem, because he is looking to come back in.
And the man.
He does appear to have a slight limp on him. Morton short on the free throw. I can only assume the sub must be for Dwayne Morton.
Yes, it must be.
Leake would have already come in. There he is in your screen.
Free throw shooting again, problem. Down to 50% now, straight up 8 for 16.
He missed them both. It dips below 50%.
Lewis has got the ball.
There is the free throw shooting, 47% from the Towers. 62% is bad, put it that way. Make up your own mind of the Towers, 47%.
Around the outside, Lewis again.
Williams thought about the 3-check, thought about a 15-foot jumper, decided against it again.
Shot clock at 7.
Lewis got to shoot it under pressure from Santos! Big three from Danny Lewis with the shot clock going down, and Santos in his face. Look at that.
That is awesome. Rise up right in your face and knock down a 3 at the death of the shot clock. That's why Danny Lewis, again, is a superstar in this league. We've seen that quite a bit.
Pinto underneath draws the foul.
He draws the foul.
It's on Dwayne Morton.
On the arm.
Here he is on the spin, Nick.
Take your pick. A little bit of an arm in the back and a slap on the wrist on the shot on the way up.
Malcolm Leake has come back into the game. Although it wasn't Morton who went off.
It was Junior Williams. That's a nice job by Junior Williams there. 15 minutes of playing time.
But it begs the question why he couldn't go on the last free throw. Perhaps wasn't there in time.
2 out of 2 for Pinto.
Pinto cuts it back to a 2-point ball game with 5 minutes to go, and we're going to have another one go right down to the wire here. Morton for a long 2. Toes on the line.
Dwayne Morton for 2.
Can't give him that sort of room, although he's not shooting particularly well this evening.
That was a little bit quick, and that's probably a shot Porto was willing to give up at that stage of the offense, but he knocked it down, made him pay.
Foul is called on Dwayne Morton once again. That's foul number 3. Porto players seem to be arguing with the referees as we take a look at that one. They weren't too happy with Danny Lewis clearing out on the near side here. Might have had a case. Oh, nice change of direction. Santos kicks it out to Miller for a long 2. And that's what we've missed while he's been on the bench.
That's right. That's one of those guys that when he gets a look like that, you almost know he's going to make it, and he didn't disappoint there. Good penetration, kick out to the shooter, boom.
In a game where a lot of good shooters are not shooting well, he is. He's making 2/3 of his shots thus far, and he's in double-figure rebounds too.
Henlon to Leake.
Bit of pressure defense here coming. Offensive foul called underneath, I think, on Henlon.
The foul is on Martin Henlon.
It is his, foul number 3.
Swinging elbow. That is a 3rd foul for Henlon.
We've got a bit of perspiration on the floor. They're just going to clean up. It's still only a 2-point ball game right here. 4 minutes to go. Foul trouble could come into it, and you would say Porto are in more trouble than Towers.
Well, no doubt about it. They've got two pretty good players there, Miller and Sa, that are on 4, and Miller's got to be careful. He's playing awful aggressive at both ends with 4 fouls. You just watch him. You can see he's banging into a lot of people, and he better watch it.
Rui Santos on the ball.
Santos out there.
Fernando Sa fires up a little bit too long. Rebound, Ray Schultz. Good rebound from Ray Schultz.
3.5 minutes to go.
Oh, nice move underneath. Malcolm Leake with the reverse and lays it in. And we've been missing it while he's been on the bench. Pinto running it back. In and out. Foul called. Schultz didn't quite get there in time.
And it's called on Ray Schultz.
Malcolm Leake's been very impressive tonight. Like I said, a little bit inside and outside. Man, that was a really nice move there around the basket. He is going to be somebody to watch this year in the Budweiser League.
Well, the funny thing is I saw him the other week, and he didn't do that much in that one game that I saw, and everybody else told me, this guy's real good, this guy's real good, and I thought, I'm not too sure. But even there, he's limping in the screen there. Even though he is limping along, he's still been one of the better players on the Towers team tonight, and I've been impressed.
Yeah, very impressive athlete for one, and now he's showing us he can do things offensively from the three-point line and around the basket, which his body suggests you think he'd be real good around the basket.
That was the thing I thought. When I saw him, I thought he's an athlete. He will be good around the basket, like saying, might be able to shoot the ball from distance. And I guess he just had a bit of a bad game when I saw him because he's played very well this season.
That's right.
Give it up, let's hear that noise! Don't forget you're on Sky,
Lewis
but let's hear it!
gets it to League. Back to Danny Lewis. Towers have always really had this game under control. They've always pretty much been in the lead. I think Porto have led once, but never more than that. Lewis fires up for two. Big shot, Danny Lewis. As I was saying, they've never quite caught up with the Towers, Nick.
Yeah, you're right. Towers have done a good job of keeping control of this thing.
Santos throws it away.
And there's two huge plays back to back.
Two huge plays which have signaled a pause in play because we're going to have a timeout to FC Porto. He didn't like the look of things. It's 61-57 in favor of the Towers, and he's really just got to tell his players to be a little bit smarter in it.
Let's listen to him, see what he has to say. This kid.
He's Portuguese. For the Portuguese out there, I'm sure it's very useful, but for the rest of us, what would you be saying if you were in his situation?
I tell you what, the zone is good right now. Towers have had to run the shot clock almost all the way down, and Danny Lewis has hit two very, very difficult shots. You know, I think he stays in the zone. Maybe at the end they try and keep the ball out of Lewis's hands and make somebody else do something with it because Danny's proven that, hey, I'm going to run it down and I'm going to score. Good luck. Now they can't get in a hurry at the offensive end. Danny hit a big shot. They tried to race up the floor and got a little wild and turned it over. They need shots. They need possessions right now.
Still only a 4-point ball game. Could still go either way. But Nick Nurse, you're sticking with the Towers?
I'll stay with the Towers. This is an important possession here. London ball, 2:42 left. If they can run some clock here and get a score, it's going to be awful difficult to come from 6.
As we see the leading scorers here, Miller with 18. He's going to be the key player in the last couple of minutes. They're going to go to him. But remember, he's carrying 4 fouls. Danny Lewis, who now has the ball for the Towers, leads them. Towers is the cry from the hometown fans as they start to lift themselves for the final 2.5 minutes. Their team leads by 4. They're looking to reach the final, which of course will be tomorrow night live on Sky Sports. Leak from the corner for 3, too long. Rebound Miller. Outlet to Rui Santos. He's got Morton with him, just couldn't get it, but he did enough to put him off. And Malcolm Leak gets the rebound. 3 on 2. Schultz for 3. Ray Schultz with a huge three-pointer.
Wow, what a big shot by Ray Schultz.
Morton with the play. Schultz finishes it up with a great 3.
Well,
he was apparently the 3rd leading scorer, three-point shooter in the league last year.
I thought that was a little too quick, but man, it could turn out to be the killer shot in the game.
Don't forget, if you didn't see the game earlier, we will be stopping the clock on every basket scored, just like that. Clock stops at 1:35 and doesn't start until the ball comes back in. It's a new ruling under FIBA, and we'll see it all the way through this season. And it will just give chances for teams to come back, will it not, Nick?
Porto needs to pick up the pressure a little bit. They've let Danny Lewis just walk up the floor. It's a 5-point game, only a little over a minute to go. They need to do something here to cause a little havoc.
They appear to be allowing a 30-second offense for the Towers. Now Towers have got to look to shoot. There's Schultz again. Stolen away by Jared Miller. Porto need to come down and score in a hurry.
It's a big 3.
It'll be a 3 for Saar. It won't go. And the rebound with Ray Schultz. He's doing it all here at the end of the game. And he's fouled pretty quickly.
Jared Miller gets a little too friendly.
And Ray Schultz is hanging on to the ball. The foul is on, I think it was on Rui Santos. It is on Rui Santos, and that'll be foul number 2. Ray Schultz going to the line. He's yet to miss this evening. Would you have fouled Ray Schultz, or is it just a question you got to foul somebody to put somebody on the line to stop the clock?
Yeah, I think in that situation, you know, down 5 and only a minute to go, you just foul the first guy you can, and it happened to be Ray Schultz.
And that is the first free throw the London Towers have made in just under 20 minutes of 19 minutes of basketball, just over. He makes it. It's a 7-point ball game. I don't think Porto can come back from here, can they, Nick?
Don't rule them out yet, but it's going to be difficult.
They're going to need to hit some 3-pointers, and as they're 1 of 13. Blocked underneath by Henlon. Good play, but there's a whistle called. It's on Miller, and that will be his 5th and final foul. He's out of the game, and you've got to say, he's played very well tonight. 18 points, 12 rebounds. He's the game's leading scorer. He's the game's leading rebounder. And I think now Porto are not going to get back when the man with the double-double files out.
I agree with you. I think this one's pretty much in the books here. London just make a few free throws, ice it, and try and protect it. Don't give up quick threes and just take care of the ball.
Henlon makes his first free throw of the evening. But misses his second.
And an 8-point lead for the Towers with less than 40 seconds to go.
Santos. The long 3 won't go. Malcolm Lee with the ball. Now, Miller said before the game he's 0-2 here at the Classic tournament from 2 years ago. Looks like he might be going 0-3 right here.
Going 0-3 here with a very impressive win by the London Towers, but it's also going to be very difficult for them tomorrow to get a win here in London. I would be willing to bet that they'll go away 0-4.
Alberto Babo, they're the Porto coach, just turned 51, but won't be celebrating tonight. Danny Lewis moves himself up to 15 personal points.
Where Lewis hit some big shots there when the game was nip and tuck against that zone, and him and Ray Schultz had a couple real big ones to kind of seal this thing and get Towers to win.
Just want to look forward to tomorrow. How do you think the Towers can contain the team basketball that we saw from Belgrade?
Well, it's going to be a tremendous challenge for them, but I think the Towers have shown one thing. They've shown they're pretty good defensively. So I think tomorrow we'll see, because Partizan's very good.
That's the end of the ball game then, with the final score. It's been 68-59 in favor of the London Towers. It's been a good, if not always convincing performance, Nick.
They were pretty much always in control. Lino got a chance to play a lot of guys, and London, hey, they did a good defensive job and did enough on the offensive end as well.
I think they'll have to shoot a little bit more better tomorrow night than they did tonight to get past Partizan Belgrade.
I tell you what, they're going to need the game of their life tomorrow night to beat a team like that.
What do you see will be the key players for tomorrow night for the Towers?
Well, again, you know, we always talk about Danny Lewis, but I think the biggest challenge that they're going to have tomorrow is running with their big men. They're going to really have to run back and not let Partizan get their offense cranked up.
A big win for the London Towers, victors by a score of 68-59. Down on the floor, we have the winning coach, Lino Fratton, with Suzanne Dando.
Thanks very much, Kev. Lino, you must be pleased. Nice debut.
Well, obviously winning always helps. It was a way to see what things we have to improve to get ready for, obviously, the second game tomorrow and for the season.
It's always good for a team like the London Towers to play the sort of caliber of European teams that we've seen here tonight.
Well, obviously, you can only test yourselves against better teams, and these are obviously top quality teams from all around Europe. So this competition will certainly be useful for us in improving our game.
You talk about improving the game. Where will you look to be improving it for the final tomorrow?
Well, obviously, you can't underestimate any of these teams. I think that the offensive potential of tomorrow's team is outstanding. They have a lot of talent, and we're just going to have to go out and be a little bit more precise than today. And also offensively, we have to work a little bit more on details, thing that comes through practice and through playing competitive games like this one.
Now, looking at the London Towers, we're looking at what everyone's saying, a new look London Towers, new coach, new players. They look a little bit taller this year as well.
Well, I haven't a lot of experience from the past years, but obviously having players like Martin Henlon and number 4, power forwards as Kubel and Ray Schultz certainly helps, without forgetting obviously the rest of the team that did very well tonight.
We've seen so much success from the London Towers in the last few years. You're not and chose not to play in Europe this year. Is that helping you to concentrate more on the British basketball scene?
Well, certainly with all these changes that maybe could have come something premature, I wouldn't have been really a good thing for the London Towers. I think that now having time to work, especially with games like this, but then to work in the beginning of the season, obviously trying to get the team together, will be competitive for the final rush.
A quick look ahead to the first season's game against Edinburgh at home.
Well, obviously, I know that they're a new team. We are a new team in many ways, and I've scouted them. I've seen they're well coached by Coach Brandon, and I'm just looking forward to get started.
I'm sure you are, and we look forward to seeing you in the final tomorrow night.
I hope so.
Lino, thanks very much. Back to you, Kev.
Hey, thanks a lot, Suzanne. It should be a very good final tomorrow night. Bob, Danny Lewis didn't play the first 10 minutes start of the second half. He comes back in the game. They're up by 4 points. What does that say to the Towers team?
Well, they can obviously compete without him on the floor. I think that Junior Williams came in, handled the ball, did some different things. I think once Martin Godfrey gets healthy, I think now all of a sudden they've got a little bit more depth in that area. But I'll tell you what, he did hit some clutch shots once Danny got back into the game. Danny hit some clutch shots and then extended that lead.
Well, how did you think, or how would you rate the play of Junior Williams today?
It was excellent. I think, the biggest thing you need to do from that position, if I'm Junior Williams, is not make very many mistakes. Do what I can do, which is cause some havoc defensively. Don't turn the ball over, run the offense. Any offense he gets is extra stuff, and he did it. He ran the team well. I thought he defended very well, and excellent. I was impressed.
What do you think of Malcolm Leaks?
Malcolm Leaks, I think, is going to be a good player in this league. He's athletic. He can go inside, outside. He's got good range on the shot. He's got a scoring mentality, as we see here. He can shake and bake, find good angles at the basket, and here he's showing some good range on his jump shot.
Nick, talk to us about the Towers' play in the last minute and 30 of the game. What were your thoughts?
Well, I think again they did a nice job of finding a way to win the game. Porto, when they went to the zone, made London struggle a little bit to get shots. The shots they got were difficult, but Danny Lewis bailed them out. Now, in the last minute and a half, they just did the smart thing. They ran the clock down when they could. Ray Schultz, took a big shot. Might have been a little quick, but he made it, so that was kind of the sealer, and then they made the free throws.
What do you think of the Towers when they went into a zone defense?
Well, I thought going to the zone was a good idea. I didn't like the thoughts within the zone. When you've got a team that's 1 for 14 for three-point range, you want to give them shots. Here we see guys lunging out on the perimeter, basically rotating to non-shooters. I thought they got a little too spread out, and then Porto was able to find some easy gaps and get some easy putbacks on some things. The zone I thought was a good idea. However, I would have wanted more three-point attempts, crammed in a little bit so we'd had a few more bodies on the glass.
Okay, let's get down to the floor. Suzanne Dando has a guest.
I certainly do. And very familiar guest, I'm very pleased to say, Danny Lewis and Martin Henlon. Danny, I'll come to you first, of course. Everyone's saying the new look at London Towers. It's great to play up against this sort of cream of Europe teams, isn't it?
Well, it's always a plus for the competition in England because it gives us that exposure. But to even more than that, to even expose the English players and the talent that we have in England right now to the European players. And as you can see today, we are contenders.
You certainly are. But we have to admit, sort of at the beginning of that game, they were talking about looking a little bit scrappy. It took a while to get some of those scores on the board, Martin.
Well, the best thing I can say about that game is we've got room for improvement. And, it's good that we got better as the game went on, but it's first time for us to play in front of a big crowd. We came out a bit nervous. We didn't know anything about the opposition. They didn't know anything about us. Nobody knew anything about the referees. Just joking, guys. And so, it was a scrappy game, but I'm glad it was exciting and close, and we've just got to try and get ourselves ready to stay in a good game tomorrow.
Well, new coach has told us where he feels you can improve. The shooting percentages were pretty low, wasn't it? Certainly from the floor.
Well, actually, right now, this is not London Towers' home gym. It's one of the gym, but we do a lot of practicing down at Crystal Palace. So, you know, all the guys have been together for like the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we've gotten used to the rims down there. So it's kind of tough adjusting back to these rims.
You can take it like it is. I was 1 for 15 tonight. So take me out. London Towers are okay. I don't mind. I'll accept a bit of the blame for that one.
I'd say that's a bit of a weak excuse, Danny Lewis. You're pretty used to playing on this court.
I don't want to make us sound bad because we are a good shooting team, but I got to fit something in where we can improve tomorrow.
And a quick word for the final?
Well, watch tomorrow. It's going to be a good game. You know, I'm not going to say who's going to win because then I'll be telling.
Improve your Yugoslavian because you're going to be interviewing a losing coach tomorrow.
That says it all. Kev, back to you.
As we look at the match facts for the game, Nick, what do you see here?
Well, the biggest thing we talked about, it seems like 100 times tonight, is 1 for 14 from the three-point line. They just weren't able to get much offense going. When you can't score at all from the perimeter, it makes it awful difficult, and 59 points, it just isn't enough to win a game.
And you look at the Towers, 12 for 22 from the free throw line.
Yeah, you know, they get there and they just don't knock them down. But again, I thought the whole thing boiled down to I just didn't like shot selection of Porto. So even though the Towers were able to get the free throw line, I think that would have definitely hurt them had it been a closer ball game.
Okay, next sheet. Looking at the rebounding and the team scoring, a lot of things seem to be pretty equal here.
Yeah, it's real equal there. You got 38-38 on the rebounding. So the rebounding pretty much is a wash. Again, I mean, how many times can I say and Bob say and you say that Porto just didn't shoot the ball well enough to get the W? Not much in this page.
Okay, next sheet. And the leadometer, it was after a few minutes, it seemed to be one-way traffic for the Towers.
Yeah, they controlled the game. I was impressed with, once they got up, got a little lead, I thought they did a decent job of controlling it always. They never let Porto get over the hump. Porto tried to make some charges, but they always answered, and then they broke it open at the end.
Tomorrow, Towers play Partizan. Can they beat them?
They've got the athletes to get up and down with them. You heard the Partizan coach say he likes to run and gun. Well, Towers got the athletes to get up and down, but can they get matched up and slow some of that passing down? If they do, they'll win. If they won't, they'll get beat.
Okay, so stay with us. We're getting ready to take a break. What we have coming up is a big-time preview of the upcoming season. You'll see Manchester, you'll see Derby, you'll see it all. Stay with us.
Coming soon to Sky Box Office, the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World.
But first on Sky Sports 1 in September, an awesome lineup of championship boxing.
Herbie Hyde defends his world heavyweight crown against hard-hitting German Billy Fischer.
London's Mark Prince challenges the WBO World Light Heavyweight Champion Darius Mikalchevsky.
Live from Las Vegas, the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez is back for revenge against world champion Oscar de la Hoya.
And Billy Schwer defends his European lightweight title. But first, Richie Woodall defends his new world title against British middleweight champion Glenn Catley. A boxing blitz starting tonight on Sky Sports 1.
Sorry.
What's this?
The TV Travel Shop is the way to book your holiday. Just sit back, switch on your TV, and choose from a wide range of destinations, from summer sun to winter skiing. Then call our local rate 24-hour hotline and book from the comfort of your own home. All holidays are sold at a discount as against published brochure prices. The TV Travel Shop, the easiest way to book your holiday. Available on cable and satellite every day before Challenge TV.
Wilkinson Sword bring you technology in 3 dimensions. The new Protector 3D. Its wire-wrapped blades now move in 3 ways for the optimum balance of safety and closeness. Protector 3D from Wilkinson Sword. The feel of smart design. In a fresh new line of toiletries.
We've seen two great games in the Sainsbury's Classic, but the first one was a great one. Partizan Belgrade beat Maccabi Tel Aviv by 2, 82-80. And in game 2, the London Towers were victors over FC Porto, 68-59. So what that means is tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Sky Sports 3, the Sainsbury's Classic final, the London Towers against Partizan Belgrade, which should be a very exciting basketball match. So looking forward to the 98-99 season. For me, it's a totally different ball game. The talent in the league seems to be as good as ever, but in sports, teams seem to have a tendency to go hot and cold. So here is my assessment of the fortunes in store for the 13 clubs in the league this year.
Last season went down to the wire before the title and playoff positions were decided. With the new season still a week away, all owners, coaches, and players dream of winning the title next April. Chemistry as well as talent is the key in recruitment. Who has got it right this season? For twice champions, the Greater London Leopards, there have been many changes. Head coach Billy Mims remains for a 5th season, along with captain Robert Youngblood and three-point shooter Brian Moore. For the rest of the squad, it's been a case of out with the old and in with the new. League MVP Eric Burks has gone to new pastures, while John White, Makiba Perry, and Mike Defoe have all moved north to Manchester. The Baker name now returns to the Leopards in the form of Steroid. Joining him is his former Derby teammate, David Addywell, along with a handful of American unknowns, Royce Olney, Brian Williams, David Cruz, Paul Burke, and Englishman Big Ben Bond.
At the end of the day, I do believe that we've recruited well. We've got talent. We've got a good chemistry on this team. We've got size. We've got more depth than we've ever had. And we've got a lot of intelligent players. I think you combine all those things and you've got an exciting basketball team.
The big question is the quality of these imports, both mentally and physically. The jury is still out on how the Leopards will fare this season as they look for a three-peat. If the Birmingham Bullets are hoping for a repeat of championship glory, they also will have to do it without many of their star players. Their biggest loss, championship MVP and last year's top scorer Tony Dorsey, has been lured to Manchester. Coupled with the departure to Europe of H.L. Coleman and Chris Haslam, it leaves the Bullets lacking some of the rebound power they used so effectively last season. That does not necessarily put an end to the Bullets' chances.
You can't dwell on what has happened in the past, and I'm just going to build the team around the players that we have this year and try and win as many games as we can.
Mike Finger took on a big job last year and proved that he was as good as any coach in the league at developing team chemistry. Mike has brought in Mark Robinson. Sheffield's loss is definitely Birmingham's gain, and Robinson's agility and fitness, as well as his proven scoring ability, may cushion the blow of Dorsey's departure. My verdict, the Bullets may have to aim their sights a little lower this year. New coach Craig Lynch led Newcastle to a third-place finish last season, their best since 1991. A 13-game winning streak highlighted the campaign. One of the best guard combinations is lost with the departure of Leon McGee and Rob Phelps. Andrew Bailey and former All-Star Ralph Blaylock are talented, but the position slips. Continuity is the key here with Scott Wilkie, Peter Scantlebury, Carl Miller, and Chris Veit all returning. 6'8" Corey Jackson joins the side from Chester, where he averaged 20 points and 8 rebounds.
We do have to replace the kind of the strength and the at the backcourt that we had last year. I think that you know the athleticism that Mark Boyd brought us and Leon brought us, people got to step up. We got to work real hard. This team has to be in shape to do well.
The team lacks athleticism and the guard play is suspect. Look for a drop in the standings and maybe a semifinal in one of the cup competitions. Last season's Uniball winners will be looking to accomplish more. Most people would think that if you lost John Amici and Mark Robinson, the ship would sink, not Coach Chris Finch.
Going into this season, I think we're probably a little bit stronger than last season because we don't have as many unanswered question marks. Myself last year, first-year coach, unproven. We had work permit issues that I actually had to play for a couple of games, and we were short a player, and in comes Amici, and out goes Medford, and it was a little bit unsettling at the beginning of the year. This year, we wanted to get settled right away, and we've gotten that.
Todd Cawthorn was lost last season. A former All-Star, he'll be back with a vengeance. Terrell Myers is back, as well as 6'8" Wilbur Johnson, who has to stay out of foul trouble. New signing Matt Gaudio is 6'8". He can play inside and hit the three. Joining him is Travis Conlon from the University of Michigan. He is a solid leader. A good bench is needed, but all of Coach Finch's knowledge is going to have to be applied here. A challenge for trophies, but a 4th to 6th place finish in the league is on the cards. During the closed season, National Cup winners Thames Valley failed to replace Manchester-bound Tony Holly, the league's second-best rebounder. The Tigers have retained all-star John McCord and point guard Casey Arena. Jason Seaman at 6'9" has had a foul-prone career. That must change. Former Derby player Brian Balser and rejuvenated 36-year-old Julio Politi are excellent shooters. Portugal's Francisco Fernandez is big and strong, but lacks offense.
This year, I think we're every bit as strong as the team last season. We're actually deeper this season, so I'm hoping as time goes on, we will develop to be a better team than we were last season.
I don't see a repeat of last year's success. A 4 to 6 finish is possible in the league. Well, there's a new head coach at the Towers. Lino Fratton brings tremendous experience from Italian and European champions Kinder Bologna. If he's able to blend his European knowledge and success with the British game, the Towers could have a great season in store.
It's a different kind of game compared to what is played in continental Europe. The fact of having many Americans and not many big men that can really be a presence inside makes the game a lot more difficult, a lot faster, and let's say a lot different also from a coaching standpoint. And I'm trying to adapt and trying to put a little bit of my European experience with these players that have obviously good English